Hello everyone and welcome again on my YouTube channel Literary Vlogger Literature in Everyday Life. So today we will be discussing about the very definition of literature and how the definition has come to being, and like how the literature has started, and like what are the involvement of different people in society and technological advancements, and what is the significance and what are the domains and parameters of like judging on analyzing literature. So like today's video will be based on that. So as for the plan of last week, we have planned that I'll be posting on like every day of the week, so that will improve my productivity. So yeah, so today we'll be discussing about the very definition of literature, its domains, its parameter, and like its analytical criterias, and also about the first stage of British literature, that is Anglo-Saxon age. So let's see how the video goes. Let's get into the video. So let's get into the video. Yeah. So coming into the video, we will discuss about literature. So literature. The aspects of literature which we will be discussing about will be its definition, okay, how it, what is the like origin of literature, then how it evolved over the period of time, and also its significance to humans, how it is significant to humanity. So definition, origin, evolution of it, and significance. There are many areas which you can touch, but like not to get this video too much longer, that's why I'm just like gonna stick to 4 points right now. So very definition of literature, the first point is the very definition. If you see, the very definition of literature, if you ask somebody like what's the definition of literature, they will say literature is the mirror of society. That's what they say. And what does mirror do? It just reflects back whatever is in front of us. But does it do that? Yeah, a sort of kind of definition is true, like it's a kind of literature is a kind of reflective tool which reflects whatever happening in the society. But every literature is not like that. There are some literature which is utopian, which talk about how things should be, which talk about how things should be. Okay, so in that case this definition is very much limited. So the possible definition can be literature is something which represent reality and also manipulate it, because there are many kind of literature which are used for the persuasion or rhetoric. People write many things like poetry, they use metaphor, different literary tools to like enhance the beauty of literature. So that is there. So the very definition is now clear that literature is something which is written to influence people, to persuade them, to like give them calmness, or like get them familiar with the harsh reality of life, such as Dostoevsky and Charles Dickens do a great job, and Tolstoy also, those kind of writers who write about social issues. Then there are writers who write about mirth, joy, like Ben Jonson is there, like the restoration writers like William Congreve and the whole gang of comedy of manner. That is a kind of literature. Okay, so the simple definition of literature is that it is a tool which is used to manipulate the reality and sometimes project the exact same thing, and it depends, it's very subjective. People have different definitions of literature. Okay, so keep it very simple. So literature is something which represents reality and also manipulate us. That is literature. So it can be vast also, but right now it's fine, I guess. Then coming back to like origin of literature. Origin of literature. We know that like languages came pretty much later. Didn't like man were not like born with language, they developed it. How? Like firstly they had some their basic necessities, basic needs. When like food, shelter and clothes, when those were met, then decided that they should record things and keep things safe and secure. They started writing about like accounts. They started to maintain. Okay, then afterward literature came when like people were like good enough and like having everything met. Then some people came and started writing about with the intention of pleasure. And like literature will be affected by many things. It will be the evolution, it will be the very nature of humanity, it will be with like society, technology and all those things will also come. So origin of literature is like ever evolving. It will keep on changing. For example, back then people used to write on walls with a nail and a hammer, and then they used to write on the skin of animals because paper was not there. Then printing press came, which changed everything. Then came internet. So like I'm giving you the very origin of literature, like how it's changing. Then internet came, now people are writing online books and all everything. So you can see the evolution from like writing on skins, sands and like stones. Now we are writing on paper and online digital writing. So we have come a long way. So that is the origin and it will keep on changing. Now AI has also come. Okay, so origin is done. Then evolution we will talk about right now. What is the evolution of literature? Evolution of literature. So evolution of literature will be also there, because as technology grew, people started writing differently. Because when they have a comfortable life, they will write about comfortable things. When there is war, of course they will write about war. Writing of war will happen. And writing is a journal, like as there are as many type of writing as there are personalities of human being. Because people are different, so they write about different things. So that is also their personality of the people will also matter. And like then certain parameters which are set by certain people, like if you have to write in a certain words and rhythm. One age have like really strict rules, the other age will keep on changing that and like breaking those rules so that they can stand out. So you will see that along the way when we'll go into British literature, American literature, Indian literature, you will see the evolution of literature. It's just the overview of the very journey that we are starting, like how literature will change. Exactly when language was built, and like now, like if it has influenced from so many language. English language it's not just English language, it has been taken from many languages. It's Greek, Roman, French, German, and then Indian language is also impacted English. As people move, they come in contact with different people and they change. So transition of English language and literature we will see. So that will be the evolution, like how from writing on paper and like printing press, now we are writing digitally online on Instagram and Facebook, from all those things to now. Then we will talk about significance. So what is the significance? The fourth point is the very significance of literature. What is the significance of writing? Why we write? Writing is like really important because it keeps us in a ordered way. It helps us to preserve our culture. Okay, it helps us to share knowledge. But also, we will also talk about the dark sides of literature. We will not just talk about the good things, we will also talk about the dark thing which literature has done. Short, like there are many literature which has like been very much propagandist or like politically very strong, which has influenced the course of history and which has changed the discourse. We will talk from battles and political situations. So that is the significance of literature. There are many literary work who has changed the course of time, like during American independence. Because literature and academia have a strong impact on the human condition. And it will impact every aspect, and it will also get affected by that. So vice versa, it's like Newton's law. Every action have equal and opposite reaction. Every action has equal and opposite reaction. Opposite reaction. So I think that's it. So I think I am able to like make sense out of it. I know it's like somewhat cluttered, so we will solve that thing on the coming videos. So what we have discussed till now, its definition, origin of it, evolution, and significance. Why literature is important, why people write, for posterity to know that people existed and everything. So literature is really important. So that is like the very overview, a journal overview of literature, like what journal literature concerned about. Like we will discuss about different parameters also of judging. So I think that's it. So keep on searching literature in your everyday life, and till then, goodbye, take care. So coming back to Anglo-Saxon age, we will be discussing about the Anglo-Saxon age, the very first stage, which is like recorded some part of literature. So we will talk about the different aspects of that, and like what were the people who were living, the native people, and the native people keeps on like it got invaded by so many people, and how Romans were used to rule there, and like all this kind of stuff, the political stuff. Because Britannia, now known as England, was inhabited by Gaels and Celts. Those people got pushed by another German tribe, Anglo, Saxon, and Jutes. So basically, Gaels and Celts were very innocent people. They called these tribes to save them, but in the coming year or like in future, what happened? They just pushed them away and like pushed them down to like Wales, Ireland, and that sort of areas. So that thing happened. So politically it was very unstable because a lot of invasions were happening. Tribes were looting for their survival, because back then people didn't have much. We were not that civilized. People were barbaric, because survival is much important in your life. Like one thing which I really learned is like survival is very important. human being can do anything for survival. So that is the strategy they used to use. They used to war, loot, rape women and everything, very barbaric. So that's why there were not great literature during this time, because survival was not possible. So how you can write? And social conditions were also that, like, people used to own farms, work on that. And social conditions were like religion was really important, church was important. And by the way, church came really late. It was like in 5th or 6th century Christianity came to England by Saint Augustine. He came and he established churches and all those things. Other than that, socially they used to pray pagans. They used to pray environment, nature, stones and everything. So Christianity came on later on. Social condition was like that. They were like lords, and people used to work as peasants, produce their own goods, and self-sufficient. Nobody was self-sufficient. Better system was there. And socially they used to be connected because they needed each other. So they will write about those things. Bards were there. Bards are the people who sing for lords. Those were poets. They used to write for the praise of their own masters. So that was like the social standing. People didn't have much. That is like the social standing of that period of time. Now coming back to economics, as I told you earlier, people used to have agriculture, and agriculture doesn't have much. And commerce was also there, but not on that instant, because England was not that developed at that period of time. Rome was at its peak. So Rome used to rule and like transport and like establish a lot of things. So economically it was not that great age. So there were some kings, King Alfred the Great, who did a great job in literacy and all, but basically religion was religious milieu. Religious environment was really strong because people believed in God, and very staunch believer, like they believe in hell and heaven. So that religion will be a very important factor in this period of time, and like in the coming ages also, because religion is something which is the belief of people, and the entire religion is the concept of belief. When you believe in something, you just hold on to it very tightly. You don't want to let it go. So like literature is very much important, and religion will play a very important role in literature. So people used to write hymns or like sermons so that they can keep the moral of people up, because life was tough at that period of time, man. You can imagine how tough life was, really tough. So they needed some kind of upliftment. So seafarer, some poetry or literature, if I have to talk about it, is like so Beowulf is a great writing of that period of time. Then we have Dior's Lament. We will talk in detail about those things later on, but right now just introduction of this age. So yeah, so those kinds of writing about epic wars, battle, courage, chivalry, and like women in distress, saving one's own country. So like that was like the social standing. People used to like care for their countries and all those things. Very different from modern age, in which like people were not given to communities and all, but here they have a strong social bond because people needed each other, because life is tough. Over that condition, environmental condition will also affect. So that is the all in all. You can see that how the Anglo-Saxon age was very unsettling, unstabling, and nothing to be very much proud of. You can see we have discussed till now political stance, economics of the country of that England, and religious milieu and the social standings. So like this is a bit of overview. So I'll end this video right now. Just take care, and like till then, look on for the literature in everyday life. Take care and goodbye.